to please Allah, a chance to gain reward. I will spend on you, he says, all who spend in good cause. Good deeds are opportunities, sparkling bright and true, raising you in the sight of Allah and adorning Al-Jannah for you. So rush to earn his reward. Don't forget the oppressed. And when you go to sleep at night.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah wa salatu wa salam ala Rasulillah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Dear brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to another episode of A Time to Please Allah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, our creator of the heavens and the earth and everything that is in between. Alhamdulillah, we welcome to another episode of A Time to Please Allah, which is live from Dubai every Thursday night, 8 p.m. UAE time and 7 p.m. Mecca Standard Time. And we hope that inshallah you had a great week and a blissful week, and that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will bless inshallah the weekend for you and the remainder of inshallah the time that we all have in this dunya. Days are flying by, subhanallah, and every day I'm thinking that subhanallah, we started this show more than a year ago, and now here we are past a year and so, and where did time go? And then when you think about just a while ago, you were just a child, and then you ask yourself, where did the time go? And you remember your parents being strong and young and picking you up and throwing you in the air, and then you ask yourself again, now they're older, harder to move, definitely they can pick you up, and you ask yourself, where did the time go? يعني الوقت تجري, as we say, the time runs, subhanallah. And next thing you know is that you yourself are old, and you have children, and you are not in the strength that you used to be. And without a doubt, no one knows, we can't say that only the old people will die, a'udhu billahi, because we might die before them. No one knows when the time will come. كل نفس ذائقة الموت. Every soul will taste death, and we don't know whether that is when we are old, when we are young. Just recently I went to a cemetery, and I saw little graves, which are for babies, and I'm talking about little, for like newborn or babies, and that was their time. It was written for them for a certain hikmah that was their time. So, we always try to remember death, as the Prophet ﷺ advised us to remember death, because it is the destroyer of pleasures. And someone might say, but I want to have pleasure, I want to be happy. And no doubt, human beings tend to want happiness. But in reality, we don't know what happiness is. We don't really have a proper understanding of what makes us happy. And when we have our material things, we think we're happy, but we're happy for a bit. We're happy for a very short time, then we want more. Or if those things break or something happens, then we get sad, as if we own those things anyway, right? But we didn't. Those were given to us by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But how come Allah gave it to me? I worked for it. Yeah, but who gave you the health to work for this? Who gave you the ability to have this job? And the aptitude and the skills to be able to keep this job or to earn this rizq. It was Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So happiness is much more than just having things. I know it's easy to say, and it's very difficult to do, and you can kind of introspect, look inside yourself. How do you feel when you receive something, when you get your paycheck, when you're able to buy things? And how do you feel when you're tight at the end of the month, and you might be short on your salary, and you might have to maybe borrow, or you might have to rationalize things, ration things in a certain way, that you're tight, you're basically can't buy what you want, right? So actually, the real happiness is in understanding our purpose in this life. And today we're going to speak about holding on to the sunnah. And when I say sunnah, I mean in reality the sunnah of the Prophet. And a lot of people think it's easy, it's what a big deal, I just grow my beard, wear a thobe or something like that, and that's it. I'm following the sunnah of the Prophet. And it's not. And you realize how difficult it is to follow the sunnah of the Prophet. For example, when you go to sleep and you're so tired, you're just very, very tired, and you know that it's from the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ to make wudu, okay, to go to sleep on wudu, and you're so tired, you already laid in bed, and you remember, I didn't make wudu, and your bed is so comfortable, and you don't want to get up, and you're like, well, it's just sunnah. And we're all guilty of that, starting with myself, right? It happens to me many times. Being on wudu, when you leave, for example, you go to the toilet and, you should make wudu, right? It's like, you just wash your hands and leave, right? Sometimes it's like a burden or something. Using miswak. Praying your, sunnah prayers, right? Sometimes we're such a rush that we just kind of get up and leave, right? So we realize that the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ is not that easy. And it requires a certain religiosity, of course, that's the proper word, but kind of like that, it should be almost as a natural reaction. It should be inside ourselves. It should be like second nature. It should be almost like an addiction, right? And sadly to say, we're very fast at following the scores of certain teams and so religiously. It's like you can't go to sleep if you're not gonna, follow and check what happened on your team. And you can't go to sleep if you're not gonna do this, or certain routines that we have, right? But with the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ, we find that it's very difficult, right? It's very hard. And of course, the shaitan will work against you. Will say, relax, it's just sunnah. Go to sleep. You're tired. You worked the whole day. You don't have to go to sleep on wudu. Relax. You don't have to make the dhikr before going to sleep. Relax. You don't have to, for example, recite Surah Al-Mulk or something like that. Relax, it's just sunnah, right? You wake up. Praying qiyam, for example, right? Relax, you're tired, you have to. How many of us fasting Monday and Thursday? How many of us do it, right? Now, at this point, you realize how important the sunnah is. And you realize what a strong man the Prophet ﷺ was. Because this is such a regimented lifestyle, right? But it's such a sweet lifestyle with the purpose. And this is where you find true happiness. And that's why I started with happiness and then I moved on to the sunnah, because true happiness is in following the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. That happiness that, it's not that, I get this and I'm happy, I lose it, I'm not happy, I'm sad, right? It's not like that. You're always happy because you're following the best of creation, which is the Prophet ﷺ. You feel like you're part of his team. You are doing what he used to do. And there were some of the Sahaba, radiallahu anhum ajma'in, who used to be very, very strict on following the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. And Abdullah ibn Umar was one of them, to the point that he used to, even kind of follow his footsteps in certain, places, and know that the Prophet ﷺ used to walk there. And he didn't, of course, impose it on someone, but he loved the Prophet ﷺ so much. And that's why, he literally followed, in kuntum tuhibbun Allah, fattabi'uni, right? Like if you indeed love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then follow me. There is no ikhtilaf whatsoever that following the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ is something very, very important. And that in following the Prophet ﷺ, you are showing your love for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, your obedience for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yes, that four-letter word, L-O-V-E, that you have this feeling that I'm doing what you have ordered me, Ya Rasulullah, Ya Allah, then that is following Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So we live in a time, though, brothers and sisters, where we realize that people are moving more and more from the Sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And this is, I'm going to be very frank here. And we're going to define in a second what does that mean, sunnah and so on, some technicalities and so on, because people dismiss it very easily. And I'm going to get into some maybe a little bit controversial things, but I hope you can bear with me and understand, because we look around ourselves these days, we look on, read on social media, and we find that a lot of people are, moving away from the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. So, inshallah, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to define what does sunnah mean, what does hadith mean, why is it important to hold on, and why specifically in this time, in the 21st century, where you find more and more people dismissing it, seeing that it's not important. If you're following the sunnah, or and we'll talk about the looks, we'll talk about the action. You're mutawwa, and mutawwa has become something almost a derogatory term. Multazim, and so on. It's not, it's like someone like strange. It's not from the norm of people, right? And again, I want to emphasize this before we go to break, that following the sunnah is very difficult. And looking at that and realizing that we see the greatness of Rasulullah ﷺ, because how difficult it is, and he was doing it in such a beautiful way. How difficult it is for us, for example, if we see kids on the street, that we're just going to walk up to them and say Salamu Alaikum to them. What does it take? It takes a lot. How many of us actually, grown men, actually go up to children when we leave the masjid and they're playing around, screaming or whatever around the front of the masjid, and we're going to go up to them and say, Salaamu Alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Not too many, right? But this is one of the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. So we realize how great Rasulullah ﷺ was. We're going to take a break, inshallah, and we're going to bring my dear guest and brother, inshallah, is a surprise, is a brother from Pakistan, inshallah, Brother Kashif, and we'll speak with him about the sunnah and about some of the things that he does to basically raise the awareness of the sunnah in his community, and the courses that he conducts, inshallah. We'll be right back. A time to please Allah here on Huda TV.
Please Allah, a chance to gain reward, I will spend on you, he says.
O Allah, to you belongs all praise. You are the light of the heavens and the earth, and all that is within them. إن الذين كذبوا بآياتنا واستكبروا عنها لا تفتح لهم أبواب السماء ولا يدخلون الجنة حتى يلج الجمل في سم الخياط.
Sister Amina is asking, is it true that you can see Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam in the dream? The answer is yes. Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam, in an authentic hadith, he said, من رآني في المنام فقد رآني فإن الشيطان لا يتمثل بي. After the soul departs the body, it makes its journey to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If it was righteous soul, it will be given permission to enter into the heavens. But if the soul was wicked, no.
إنه من يشرك بالله فقد حرم الله عليه الجنة.
Whosoever associates someone in worship with Allah, even if it is me, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will make Jannah haram and lawful for that person.
TV commercials motivate viewers into immediate action and to sway consumer loyalty from one brand or service to the other. That's why we're here for you, to help you sell your products and services by using creative ideas that bring life into your own TV commercial. Advertise your business and branded products and services on Huda TV. We will offer you fast-paced and energetic 30-second affordable TV spots. Advertise on Huda TV. Acquire fresh customers and stay within your budget. For more info or to receive a quote, please send your inquiries to advert@Huda TV. Huda TV.
time to please Allah, a chance to gain reward. I will spend on you, he says.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, alhamdulillah. Welcome back, a time to please Allah. And we're talking about the sunnah of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And we just left off speaking about how great Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was to be able to live such a life. And we talked about, for example, how many of us would, walk up to children, for example, and say Assalamu alaikum to them, and so on. Some of these actions that sometimes we find like, what's the benefit? I don't feel like, it's nothing big, right? But it was something very important, because as we will see, inshallah, and we've talked about this before when we talked about the tarbiyah for children, that little action had such a great impact on those children. And every single action of the Prophet ﷺ, inshallah, as we know and we believe, there's a specific purpose for it, inshallah. And to join me in this discussion, I have my dear brother and friend, Brother Kashif. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
How are you, brother?
Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah.
Welcome to A Time to Please Allah.
Jazakallah khair, barakallah.
Allah bless you. I know it was a bit difficult to find the place. Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. Brother Kashif, tell us a little bit about yourself and what do you do first, so for the audience, inshallah, to know.
My name is Kashif Naseem Dilkusha, and I live in Pakistan and the city of Karachi. And there we have an institute called Azan. Azan offers weekend, day-long courses. And one of our courses is called the Etiquette Behind the Curtains. And this course is specifically on the Shamail, meaning the characteristics of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that how he used to live his life. Or if you can rephrase it, you can say a day with the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So how he used to sleep, how he used to act with his family, how he used to eat, how he used to interact with sahabas, his friends, his family and all that. Alhamdulillah, so it's a very beneficial course and it's a very hands-on course. When you go out of the course at the end of the day, you learn a lot, and you already start acting upon the sunnahs of Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
MashaAllah. Brother Kashif, can you, I know you have this course, you do some, as you said, some practical things. Can you describe some of the things that you do with your class? I know it's very interactive. I've heard about some things, but you mind describing what do you do? I mean, what?
If we look at the sunnah and just look at the way how Prophet sallam used to take care of his health, and what are the health benefits we can learn from the sunnah. So like Prophet ﷺ said, if for a human being, some little bites are enough for his stomach and for his body, and if he likes to eat much and more, then keep one for the food, one for the drink, and keep one third of his stomach empty.
Right.
So what we do in the course is when our students come into the class and when there is a lunch time, we put the tape on their fingers and we make them eat with 3 fingers.
Okay.
So we tape 2 of their fingers and they only have 3 fingers, then they have to eat with those 3 fingers. They have to eat from the one plate, the whole food, the whole dessert and everything. They have to lick the whole plate, they have to clean the whole plate, and then they come back into the class after the lunch. So this is an amazing activity. Our students love it, mashallah, and they love to do it even after the course, mashallah.
So one of the things, I guess, the benefits of that, let's discuss that. So it's very practical, mashallah. And some people might say, well, what's wrong with eating the whole hand? It's not haram or anything like that. But the wisdom of eating with 3 fingers, what's behind that?
First of all, the wisdom with eating 3 hands is you eat little. We all are always talk about obesity, we always talk about how to lose weight, how to be smart, how to regain our fitness, how to gain or enhance our stamina. So eating with 3 fingers, the first benefit, the first wisdom is you eat little. And when you eat little, usually what happens is we eat and eat and eat and eat. But when you eat with 3 fingers, you just get tired very early. You say, okay, enough. I don't want to eat anymore.
Right. It's not that easy.
It's not that easy.
Right.
But it becomes easy. When you start doing it, when it becomes your habit, then it becomes easy. And alhamdulillah, what I have witnessed and what I have experienced by eating 3 finger is you yourself start eating less, and which is enough for you.
And it's not about eating the quantity of food, but also about how much you put in your mouth.
Yeah.
Right. Because when you put a lot of food in your mouth, you tend to chew less.
Yeah.
Right. Which is not good.
Very true.
Right?
Very true.
You
Very
swallow fast. You swallow
Yes.
air, and that helps you to blow it up. And
Yeah.
it's not very healthy for you, for your digestion.
Exactly.
And so on, subhanAllah.
Exactly.
What other things do you do part of the course?
As we all know that giving a smile on the face of your brother is a charity.
Right.
So what we do is we give 10 cards to every student in the class which says smile at sunnah.
MashaAllah.
And then we do a competition. So at the end of the day, the person who has the lesser number of the cards win the game or win the competition.
So how does it, like, does he have to give the card when he smiles, or he takes someone hard
No.
card?
If you see someone who's not smiling at you during the course or during the breakout time, you just give the card.
Oh, you have to give him a
So
card. Okay.
the more card you have means the less you smile.
I see.
And the lesser card you have means the more you smile, because if
Okay.
you're always smiling, nobody will give you the card.
Right.
But if you are not smiling, everybody will be giving you the card.
I see.
So the lesser card you have, meaning the more smiler you are, mashallah, smiley you are.
MashaAllah.
And you were smiling the whole day. So this we also do this competition in one day, and mashallah, people love it, mashallah. People love it.
And as the Prophet said, تَبَسَّمُكَ فِي وَجْهِ أَخِيكَ صَدَقَ. Yani, subhanAllah, what a beautiful hadith. And just the psychological effects, right? When you're sad, if you just something
subhanallah,
makes you laugh, or you just smile, right? It's like your whole body changes. You just start feeling
Subhanallah.
so different. And you mentioned, right, the medical benefits of the sunnah. Now, Brother Kashif, some people might dismiss certain things as such, as being, well, eating from one plate is cultural, eating with the hands is cultural, eating with, and there is some ikhtilaf, amongst some current scholars saying, especially scholars in the West. Of course, we respect everyone, but some people say this is something cultural. It's okay to eat with the fork, and we're not saying it's not okay to eat with the fork and the spoon, all right? But I mean, how do we explain? Because we're teaching, and I agree with you that this is the sunnah is so beautiful, and that we shouldn't be like ashamed of it or anything like that. I mean, how do we explain to people this issue?
How I explain this is if we read the seerah of Prophet ﷺ, if we read the seerah of the Sahaba, and we know that Prophet ﷺ had Sahaba from all over the world, mashallah.
Right.
I mean, it's not only Makkah or Medina or Arab. We have Salman Farsi radiallahu anhu, we have Suhaib Rumi radiallahu anhu, we have Bilal Habashi radiallahu anhu, and we never find a narration. We never find a quote from any Sahaba. Okay, so what? It's just sunnah. No.
Right.
Anything Prophet ﷺ do or used to do or does, Sahaba just try their best to act upon it and copy it or imitate it.
Right.
They never think, they never discuss, they never objected or said anything like that. Why? It's just sunnah, it's culture. No. It's the application out of the love of Prophet ﷺ, that we should love everything Prophet ﷺ used to do. Like there's a narration that a Sahabi not used to tie the button of his shirt.
Right.
And when it was asked, why do you do this? He said, because I saw Prophet ﷺ never doing this. So I always keep my shirt open. He never put the button on of his shirt.
Right.
Why? Because when he saw the Prophet ﷺ's shirt was open and it was not buttoned. So he said, no, I will do exactly what Prophet ﷺ used to do. You read the seerah of Ibn Umar radiallahu anhu, Abdullah ibn Umar, the son of Umar ibn Khattab radiallahu anhu. You see, there was not a question the Prophet ﷺ, why Prophet ﷺ did it, is it farz, is it mustahab, is it makruh, is it halal, haram? No. Prophet ﷺ used to, Prophet ﷺ is traveling for the Hajj, and he used to sit down under a tree. Ibn Umar used to go and just sit down on the same tree, under the same tree.
Right.
Why? It is the love of Prophet ﷺ.
Right.
And Prophet & said in the hadith, "Taraktu fikum amrayn." I am leaving two things. Lan tadillu ma tamassaktum bihima. You will never be lost, never misguided if you keep those things, two things tightly. What? Quran, Al-Quran wa sunnati, and my sunnah, or my way. So this is the obligation on us, if we love Prophet ﷺ, that we should follow each and everything in the best possible way, in the full capacity.
MashaAllah. Now someone, we hear people saying, okay, so the Prophet ﷺ used to ride a camel. So should we ride camels now? Right? People say, should we ride camels now? This is obviously a very kind of a silly, response. But people will bring these kind of logical arguments, right? To say, well, what do we ride camels now, or do we ride horses or something like that? We not go for cars because we're following the Sunnah. I mean, how do we reply to them in this case?
You see, if somebody says that, we will say, inshallah, that if you ride a camel to fulfill the Sunnah, do it.
Do it. Yes.
Do it. Because inshallah, because of the love of the Sunnah, you will get the reward, inshallah. But it's not, Islam is wise.
Right.
Allah is wise.
Allah.
This deen is wise.
Yes.
So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the Quran, Udu ila sabili rabbika bil hikmah.
No, bil hikmah.
Call people to the way of Allah with hikmah, with
So
wisdom.
you have to be wise.
So we have to be wise.
You're not going to take a camel on the highway.
Yeah.
It doesn't make
It's
sense.
not like that. It doesn't make sense.
And there, I would say that there's a difference in that between, you can perfectly, go in a car and have a beard and open your button, or having, certain clothes, or, eating with this, it's not like it's contradicting or anything like that, or it's unwise, right?
Obviously.
Right.
You should not be looking alien to the people we are living. You should always be Prophet Sallam. I mean, if we read the Shamail of Sallam, and inshallah, if you ever get a chance to attend my course in Pakistan, Karachi, inshallah, the etiquette, we will learn that how Prophet Sallam used to have different type of hairstyles. Prophet Sallam used to wear different type of clothes.
Right.
And Sahaba say that it is always according to the norm and the culture of the area where he used to live.
As long as this culture does not
contradict Islam or against Islam, it's okay, alhamdulillah.
Now, what if someone, for example, wants to go a step further and tries to, wear a certain amount or a certain dress that, somehow resembles, the Prophet ﷺ, or some of the descriptions, like a shawar or something like that, or a thobe or anything like that. And people say, no, this is not really a sunnah. How do we understand that?
Can you rephrase your question?
Let's say someone says, I believe that a thobe is closer to the sunnah, while someone will say, no, I think a jeans and a shirt is, because a jeans and a shirt is more according to what the people wear. Like you will go to LA and you'll have people wearing tight jeans and a white shirt, right? So they say this is the the culture, so we should resemble them, right? So as a person say, no, I want to to keep a certain Muslim identity, or whatever like that. I mean, how do we understand that?
As long as that identity is not against the ruling and the teaching of Islam, as long as people are not, I mean, you're not looking strange or alien to people, it's okay, inshallah. If you're wearing, for example, if you're wearing pants and if you're wearing, your shirt should be long enough so that your aura should be covered. It's okay, inshallah. If you're wearing kameez shalwar, or if you're wearing jubba, if you're wearing any other clothes, if you are conforming to the teaching of Islam about the dress, about the aura, alhamdulillah, it's fine, inshallah. And if you want to see that, you can just go Makkah and Medina, and you will see every type of people from every nation, from every corner of the world, wearing their own culture dresses. As long as that dress is according to the covering your aura properly and not exposing your aura, alhamdulillah, it's fine, inshallah. And obviously we know that there are some colors the Prophet prohibited for men not to wear, like yellow, like full orange or full red, and for men silk or gold. Obviously we cannot do that. But apart from all these, if you are wearing anything which is not against the teaching of or the etiquettes of the dress, Islamic dressing, alhamdulillah, it's fine, inshallah.
MashaAllah. Let's go to a bit more of a technical thing, because people might be wondering, well, what is a sunnah? Just to give a slight definition of a sunnah, and maybe the difference between a sunnah and hadith.
If you sunnah is everything the Prophet ﷺ said or did or affirmed. I mean, he was looking at any sahabi and did not say anything or he said anything. So all sunnah. Hadith is the narration of the Prophet ﷺ or the narration of the Sahaba about Sunnah. So
the hadith carries the sunnah.
yeah,
very
hadith
much.
carries the Sunnah, or in a way they both are same.
Right.
But if you go into technical definitions, like if you go to the Islamic jurist,
Right.
they make some
Right. They'll drop the sifat.
yeah.
The sifat.
Then if you look at from the perspective of the muhaddithin, they are looking at the Sunnah in a little different way. But if you comprehensively looking at it, it's almost same. It defines the Sunnah. Hadith defines Sunnah.
And one of the beautiful things that I really like in definition of the muhaddithin, يعني, that they say يعني الحديث ما جاء عن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم يعني من قوله وعمله أو فعله okay أو تقريره أو صفته يعني okay, so his speech, his actions, what he did, right, and then his approvals, or something that he agreed to, and also his sifa and his attributes, or which is so beautiful, because we live in the 21st century where people are looking for a role model in terms of how they act, how they dress, even how they speak, and so on. And we find that a lot of youth are taking on different role models, movie stars, TV stars, musicians, and so on, football players, you name it, sports stars, right? And they know everything about this person, right? They're so strong in following them and imitating them, yet not so when it comes to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. What do you think is the issue here, and why are people kind of moving away from following the Sunnah, or they're not so interested in, especially the youth then?
Actually, what I think is what is lacking is Islam is not being presented to the masses how it should be. I mean, if you, for example, if you take the life of Prophet ﷺ with regard to his wives, I mean, if you study how Prophet ﷺ used to care about his wives, how Prophet ﷺ used to have fun with his wives, his family, you will be amazed. And these are the things which are not usually explained or highlighted in front of the masses.
Right.
So I think if we portray the life of Prophet ﷺ, if we portray or describe or teach the teaching of Prophet ﷺ in a proper way, or I call it now, our ummah is not a ummah, it's I ummah. It's advanced ummah.
Right.
So we need to use technology. We need to use new ways to reach there. We need to use interactive sessions with them, where we can address their issues. We can show how Islam can resolve their issues, their challenges in their life, their problems, their spiritual issues. So inshallah, I think they will come very close to Islam, inshallah. But it requires a lot of determination, a lot of hard work from our side to reach to them in the way that they understand, because they are living in the technological age. They are living in an information age where they have the explosion of information.
Right.
So we have to be come from all sides to them and tell them what Islam is and how Islam can help them, how Islam can improve their life.
A lot of times when people look at religious people or people who are in the in the da'wah, they're kind of hesitant to go to them. They'll say these guys will make my life difficult, or this is haram, this is halal, they're going to always more haram than halal, and so on. I mean, and that's one of the things that's probably stopping people from coming to us, right? From attending seminars. If you find most of the people who usually attend religious seminars are people who are already religious, right?
Exactly.
So it's hard, for example, someone like your course, right? Most of the people would come, I'm not saying all of them, would be people who are already very practicing. They want to get closer even to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? How do we reach out to people? Obviously, you said technology is important. People who are a bit, apprehensive about, people with beards and people who are, maybe wearing shawar or thobe or anything like that. How can we break those barriers in today's society? Is there any any techniques that you guys do to reach out to the normal, or not the normal, but the people who are not so practicing, let's say?
Actually, what we did in our country is we did a study, and we categorize our youth in 4 different parts. We say number 1 are very much inclined, very active, they want to do something. The second part is they are inclined, they offer 5-time prayers, they like to attend Islamic circles, but they're not very active. They don't want to do it or initiate these things themselves. Number 3, they all are Muslims. Number 3, these guys offer Jummah namaz, offer Jummah salah. These guys sometimes offer 1 salah, 2 salah in a day, but they don't want to, show their identity as Muslims or hardcore Muslims. They don't keep beards, they don't act upon Sunnah, they don't want anyone to call them Maulvi Sahab or Sufi Sahab or Maulvi Sahab and this and that. And the 4th is they're very allergic to Islam.
Okay. Allergic to Islam.
Very allergic to Islam. They don't offer salah, they don't like to move around Maulvi, they just, whenever they see a person who has a beard, they just run away. They all have a different, thinking style. You have to tap all these groups in their own different way. For example, if you want to tap the last group, which is very much allergic to Islam, they don't want to hang around people who have beard. They like, you have to play football with them. You have to have barbecue on the beach with them. You have to do things like that. So that they can, come closer in a way, and there you play 1 hour, or you have fun with them 2 hours, just give a 5 minutes dose, 5 minutes dose, 5 minute dose, once a month, once a week, things like that. For every group, you have to see what are their habits, and according to their habits and their liking, you have to develop a strategy. And among the people who are active, the A'is, you have to make groups who have to, stay close to the groups which they are alike, or they have themselves in
something common,
passion. We have to make these type of strategies, and this way we can, once you, for example, you are tapping the group 4, and among group 4, after 3, 4, 5 sessions, one guy moves a little bit towards Islam, so now he will move to group 3.
Okay.
He will bring some new people here.
Right.
Then after a while you work on him, he will move to group 2 and then group 1. So this is a small strategy, but these people, when they move from group 4 to group 1, they will be like one person, one nation, inshallah.
Subhanallah. MashaAllah.
So we have to work very scientifically. We have to read, study our youth, their habits, and we have to tap accordingly. Otherwise, one stick will not work for all.
MashaAllah. When it comes to the Sunnah and identity, okay, where does the Sunnah stand when it comes to the identity of the Muslim? Right now everyone's talking about our own identity. People are very nationalistic. You say, I'm this, I'm that, I'm from this country, I'm from that country. They speak in terms of tribes, in terms of different things. Where does the Sunnah come when in defining the identity of a Muslim? Is this something that is just optional, or is this something that should be a part of each and every Muslim? And basically, should this distinguish them from non-Muslims or not? Because it seems sometimes that when people think of Sunnah, they say, well, I'm going to be kind of strange, right? It's going to be something very difficult or different for me.
I think this is actually our own thinking. If we act upon Sunnah, there's nothing that you will be very different from other people. I mean, in every society, in every Western society, you see Christian Catholics, you see nuns, you see bishops, you see Jews. In every Jewish society, there are Jews of different sorts. I mean, some Jews keep very long beards, they always wear a hat, and alhamdulillah, they do it. So why not we? It's only our thinking that we feel that we will feel different. Actually, we are afraid, and why we are afraid is if we stay firm on Sunnah, and if we act upon all the Sunnahs like keeping a beard or keep doing other things, And with this, if we have a etiquette like Prophet ﷺ, we have the akhlaq or manners like Prophet ﷺ, people will fall in love with you.
Yes.
People will fall in love with you.
So I think that's one of the issues, right? That these days that we're selective on the sunnah. So we might keep some looks, but then the akhlaq is missing, right? Because if we have the akhlaq, right, and the proper way of dealing with people, they won't mind, if we look a bit different than, than them, right?
And you see, this is again the lack of knowledge. We like to be like Prophet ﷺ. But do we know that Prophet ﷺ said, the person with the best manners will be with me on the day of judgment.
Yeah.
So it's not about how you like. Firstly, it's about how you behave and how your manners are, how you interact with people. And with that, if you act upon the sunnah, nurun ala nur inshallah. Nurun ala nur inshallah.
SubhanAllah. You mentioned something that obviously these days people are taking quite lightly, and it's controversial, the issue of the beard, right? Now, can you explain what's the position of that when we say sunnah, or because a lot of people say, well, it's sunnah, it's not a big deal. How do we understand? I know it's a bit fiqh, but it's something that we find the Prophet ﷺ keeping, we find the Sahabas keeping, we find the Tabi'een keeping, we find the Tabi'een keeping. But these days we find that more and more people are moving away from that in the name of, they say it's cleanliness, should be clean shaved. Jobs, right? They usually, a lot of times they'll say, you should shave your beard if you want to be. It's not professional, it's not business oriented, it's not clean, it's not tidy. How do we, we fit that in our lives and dealing with, the 21st century requirements, right?
First of all, I would not go into the fake issues of beard, but I would
That's what I was saying, sunnah.
I would just emphasize that Prophet ﷺ is used to be the most cleanest ever on the surface of the earth.
Right.
And at the time of Prophet, they did not have these type of rooms where we have air conditions, everywhere air conditioned, severages, and you have showers and bathing facilities. Rather, they have to gather water in order to take a bath. They have to go far away from their house to relieve themselves. Even in those situations, they used to keep beard. And it's not about keeping beard for Prophet ﷺ or the Sahaba Tabi'in. Kuffar used to have beard. So beard is actually the indication that you are a man. That's why men, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given men the beard, and women, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala hasn't given beard to women. So it is the indication that you are a man, that you have beard. It's not about cleanliness. It's all about you. How do you think? The way you shampoo your hair every day, you can shampoo your beard every day. The way you maintain your hair every day, you can also maintain your beard every day. So what's wrong about it? That means everybody who goes to the offices should not have hair on the head.
I'll be a bit
and
more.
Who does that?
I'll interject here. I'll be a bit more controversial. And obviously, it's what you said is very important. It's an indication of being a man. And these days, sometimes we see on Facebook, like, the lion without the mantle, right? It's like, imagine the lion without having, mashallah, his crown, and like a man without a beard. And of course, we don't want to push anyone, but there, the issue of having a beard is something that definitely the Sahabas did not take lightly. And of course, your example is very appropriate and nice. As you said, that Allah gave us, it grows and everything. But the Prophet ﷺ also, he trimmed his mustache, right? But that grows as well, right? Or he trimmed his underarm, that grows as well, right? So there is something important, because a lot of people they take it very lightly, right? And sometimes people don't want to get into it. But without a doubt, the beard is something so important from the Sunnah. And another, obviously, the kuffar used to have a beard, but that's why تخلف الكفار to differ from the kuffar, right? You trim your mustache, and there's other things, obviously, just other than the beard, that indicates that you are a Muslim. Obviously, it's not just one thing. But these days, subhanallah, people take it very, very lightly. They take it very lightly, and they say it's not a big deal. Going back to the identity Yeah.
Sorry for interrupting you.
Yeah.
It is the only sunnah which is 24-hour sunnah. It is the only sunnah which will go into your grave with you.
Subhanallah.
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 So how important it is.
It's very important. Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. And subhanallah, of course, I think maybe both you and I were at one point without beards, you know. And I remember very well that time. And I don't, you know, but it's like subhanallah, it's something, you know, that people should not take very lightly. Let's leave it at that, and so we don't become, so we don't become controversial. Okay, before we have about 10 minutes left, I want to talk about the statement of the scholars, especially I believe it was Imam Malik, right, who said that a sunnah, a safinatun Nuh, right, that the sunnah is like the ark of Noah, right? Whoever embarks on it is saved, and whoever, you know, leaves it is, you know, will be destroyed. Yani, how do we, you know, understand that in the 21st century? I mean, you know, what can we take from that statement? Of course, it's a statement of scholar. It's an opinion, right? But it's something very strong, right? And Imam Malik is not anyone. Yani, he's the Imam of Medina, yani, subhanallah, and the Ahl Medina. So how important is that? You know, that type of statement, strong statement.
To explain the importance of sunnah, I will ask, or I will say, what will you do if you do not have sunnah? How will you spend your life? How will you interpret the Quran? How will you understand the Quran? Even Sahaba used to have difficulty in understanding the Quran. In Quran there are verses where Sahaba used to, you know, really got worried. Rasulullah, what does it mean? If this, we all will go to the hell. But Prophet ﷺ explained them, no, this is not this, and this is this. So even without the sunnah, we will have a lot of difficulty, and we might not be able to understand Quran properly. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has sent Prophet ﷺ as a role model for us. So if we want to understand Quran, we want to act upon Islam, we need to learn the sunnah. And we need to learn the sunnah from the scholars, not from the newspapers, not from the club, not from the friends. And this is why when I said we have to reach to the masses in a way that we can, you know, attract them towards Islam, but there is also a weakness from their part. They ask their questions from ordinary people. They don't go to the scholars. And when they ask questions from ordinary people doesn't know anything. So they halal or haram, halal or haram.
But they will answer. They don't know it, but they will answer.
Don't know, but they will. You know, Imam Malik, you mentioned Imam Malik. There's a very strong, very famous story about Imam Malik, that a person has traveled months, and he reached Imam Malik, and he had 40 questions with him. And he asked Imam Malik 40 questions, and out of those 40 questions, Imam Malik only answered 4 questions. And every answer where on every question where Imam Malik did not have the answer, he said, La adri, La adri. And the person said, Imam Malik, I've traveled so much. Please answer me, please say something. He said, how can I say something when I don't know? So, La adri, La adri, La adri. So, ask the people of knowledge, and when you will ask the people of knowledge, you will see that how sunnah will help you improve your life. How sunnah will help you resolve your problems and challenges of your life. This is the benefit of sunnah. I just explained to you I just mentioned the hadith about the health, that some food bites are enough for us. If we act upon that hadith, we will see that we will not have diarrhea ever, we will not have constipation ever, we will not have acidity issues ever.
Diabetes. And
if we learn the sunnah, that how Prophet used to have a relationship with his wife, whenever Prophet used to enter his house, Prophet used to kiss his wives. Amma Aisha said, when we used to eat something and I take a bite from a piece of meat, Prophet also take a bite from that piece of meat, but he did not just take a bite. He kept his teeth at the same place where I kept my teeth, just to show his love to me, just to express his love to me. And Prophet used to play with his wife. Prophet used to have races with Amma Aisha radiallahu anha. So this, you see, if you learn and you study the sunnah, a sunnah of having relationship with your wives, you will see how Prophet's sunnah will help you resolve your family and marriage issues. How these sunnah will enhance the love in your family for spouses.
And of course, as I started the show, and we all realize the greatness of the Prophet ﷺ in these things, and we realize our inferiority and our weakness, because sometimes we can't raise to that level. We have to try, of course, but a lot of us, sadly, are not there, and we have a lot of work to do. We argue with each other. We claim to be, practicing Subhanallah, and by standards of people, we're practicing. But how far yet we are from the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. In the last few minutes that we have, Brother Kashif, we talked about the importance of certain things and the importance of learning the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. But if someone right now is watching this show, alhamdulillah, and there are a lot of people watching this show, alhamdulillah, and it's a live show, and they might say, wow, what these guys said today is amazing. I'm not following the Sunnah, but I kind of, I want to start following the Sunnah. Where could they start? And I'm not asking for a shadow opinion. What's your opinion? Where would it be a good place? And of course, all the Sunnah are good. All right. Where would someone who's not yet following the Sunnah, he might be praying and so on, his father and so on. Where would he start? I'm not saying that this is written in stone. I think what's your opinion, Danny, that someone should maybe take a first step towards?
Okay. You see, if we always talk about this age, we always talk about how many fitan we around us, the fitan of adultery, the fitan of drinking, the fitan of music, the fitan of this and that. You see, when Prophet ﷺ was sent to the Arab, at that time the situation of Arab was far, far, far worse than us. Adultery, riba, drinking, burying their daughters alive, having 360 statues in the house of Allah, having all those fitan. What was the first verse which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed? It was اقرأ باسم ربك الذي خلق خلق الإنسان من علق اقرأ وربك الأكرم الذي علم بالقلم علم الإنسان ما لم يعلم. The first revelation was about knowledge.
Seeking knowledge.
If you want to act upon Sunnah, if you want to improve your life, if you want to get the benefits of Sunnah, start seeking knowledge. Connect yourself with the righteous scholar, start learning from him, and then you will see how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will open your ways towards Jannah, towards His deen, and how you will start feeling good about Sunnah in this religion, how soon you will start acting upon Sunnah, inshallah. So the first step to get better and to get the benefit of the Sunnah is to start seeking knowledge. Learn this deen and learn with the righteous scholar. Don't learn yourself. Don't just open the book and start reading and learning. No. You have to sit in front of the scholar. And you have to learn from, inshallah, and then you will see how soon you will start acting upon the Sunnah, inshallah.
So that will be the first step.
That will be the first step. And everything that we first have, knowledge.
Right, seeking knowledge. What would be a second step? And when you first started, you talked about the fitan and so on. I thought they were going to say, get married. And of course, I would say that living in a time of fitna, I would also advise the youth to follow this sunnah, to get married, because you said the fitna of adultery and women and all these things around it. Always we find the youth, they're complaining. They're like, how do you want me to pray when I can't keep my head straight, and they come to us and I'm like, brother, pray, and do this, brother, I can't think, I can't focus, right? So one of the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ, and he said, and whoever leaves this is not from us, is to get married, right? So we're actually running out of time, but any last words, some advice for our brothers and our sisters who are watching the show, and this little light might have popped into their mind and say, I think I'm going to change, or I want to do something, right? Any parting words?
Brother, what I strongly feel and believe, seeking knowledge is the key. Seeking knowledge is the key. The first thing is seeking knowledge. If you start learning your deen, you will see, inshallah, from everywhere, you will start getting help of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for everything. I mean, if you seek knowledge with the righteous scholar, and you want to get married, you need to get married with a righteous girl.
صح.
How will you get a righteous girl? People will complain, everywhere I see, I don't find any righteous girl.
Right.
So this righteous scholar will inshallah get you a righteous girl.
For sure. You should
And
know
this-
what a righteous girl is.
Yeah, exactly. The first thing is, and then you need to know those girls, and those girls will be inshallah referred to by that scholar. And you know, step by step, he will guide you inshallah in everything of your life, in every sphere of your life. First thing is seek knowledge, seek knowledge, seek knowledge. This is the key. This is the key, inshallah.
MashaAllah. Jazakumullah khair. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you, Brother Kashif, inshallah. We hope to see you again on our show, inshallah. We hope to see you in Karachi, and I did see Brother Kashif in Karachi it was about almost 2 years ago, alhamdulillah, a year and a half ago. And hope that we'll go back in. Karachi was definitely a good place, and experience with Adhan was really a good experience, alhamdulillah. Inshallah, we'll see you guys next Thursday, the same time, a time to please Allah. Don't forget to check our Facebook page, and if you want to know more about Adhan, you can search Adhan online. And Brother Kashif also, Dilkusha has a Facebook page, inshallah.
Kashif Naseem Dilkusha.
Kashif Naseem Dilkusha, and you'll find his page, and he posts videos and different things from his classes, pictures and so on, and you can link with him, inshallah, and you can contact him if you have any questions, inshallah. جزاكم الله خيرا سبحانك اللهم بحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك. Inshallah, we'll see you guys next Thursday. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
To please Allah, a chance to gain reward. I will spend on you, he says, all who spend in good cause. Good deeds are opportunities, sparkling bright and true, raising you in the sight of Allah and adorning Al-Jannah for you. So rush to earn His reward, don't forget the